Okay.
And now allow me to
And now,
be
okay.
so that I share my screen.
Done.
Okay, and you're still recording, right?
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, thank you. Okay, so first of all, maybe you may need to
Mm-hmm.
edit this. This is your paper, right? So this is your paper.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only assisting you. Okay,
No,
so
I need. No, you're helping me, so I have to put your name as the
no,
second
no,
writer.
don't worry, really. Yeah, so yeah, I see
Yeah.
this
Okay.
is working title. I didn't see this if it all first, so pardon me. So there is the problem
Mm-hmm.
in the implementation of the use of e-commerce
Mm-hmm.
and rule of law in Indonesia. This is, we can put it as a working title.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, I check it wrongly. So this is your working title, right?
Mm-hmm.
Working title, and oh, of course it has a few typos, but maybe later on we can think of something really worthy. So we don't want to put too many keywords in the working title. You
Mm-hmm.
can make it a bit succinct. It's just summarize the issue that you're going to deal with. And usually use academic phrases instead of words like problems. Why don't you use academic phrases like challenges?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Challenges.
use challenges in implementation of the use of
Of.
e-commerce
Mm-hmm.
and the rule of law. So not its. And also always avoid words like its, this, and just replace them with word like the rule of
Okay.
law in Indonesia. So
Okay.
this
Sorry.
can be working title to begin
Yes.
with. So challenges, not too much informal words. And I
Mm-hmm.
can show you words like joy. Here you put joy, good chances, such
Mm.
words. They are too informal. So these are informal words. You don't want to put informal words when writing academic work.
Okay.
Use proper words. We are going to find some replacements, but this
Mm-hmm.
is good work. So this is good. So this is like your question. So what are the challenges
Yes.
in implementation of e-commerce and its implications on the rule of law in Indonesia? So
Yes.
this will be your guiding question.
Mm-hmm.
And your abstract. So you start here with so here we have the abstract, and these are the key issues we need to see in the abstract. The abstract should generally keep it below 300 words. Usually try to keep it even below
Below
250.
300.
Yeah, even 250 if you can. So you do 250 words. And you can take as long as you want to write the abstract. Yeah. So we need a brief
Mm-hmm.
introduction to the topic of some of the problem arising from implementing the use of e-commerce in Indonesia, which you have done here. So the use of e-commerce is increasingly prevalent in Indonesia, but it is also some, and there's also some emergence rules. There's accompanied uh, by emergence of legal rules that regulate it.
Mm-hmm.
Latest legal rule governing the use of e-commerce is number 1820 concerning trade electronic systems. So this is already too much information in the abstract. So we want to start with first, if you can, in the introduction sentence, just show
Mm.
us the problem. What is the problem?
The pro.
The challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
And
challenge
what is the
is in the last sentences.
okay? So which is the last sentence here. So if we come to the last sentence, this government regulation, again, avoid like this, it's always use like the government.
The
So here I'll just,
government.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, avoid nominalization. I call it nominalization. It makes it difficult to read.
Mm-hmm.
So use like the,
Okay.
avoid it. Yeah.
All right.
So here, okay, so here you say
The
the
government regulation.
government regulate.
It's repeating words, right? Regulation,
Yeah,
regulating.
yes, that is also good that you identify your mistakes. Yeah. So here is repetition. So I'll just help you to point out. So the government regulating through electronics brings good
Uh.
chances, but also brings some advantages. Okay.
So
Uh-huh.
I have to change it with the synonym of regulation or what? Or
Oh,
paraphrasing?
so for example, here you can simply just say the government. And by the way, remember, if you are saying the government, or
Mm-hmm.
if saying the government, you put it in small caps. Unless if you are saying the government of Indonesia, then you
Uh-huh.
can put it in caps. But here, if you just say government, so it should be small. But if you say the government of Indonesia, you put government with capital. Or the president of Indonesia, then you put, or if you say President
Mm-hmm.
Jokowi Widodo, we
Mm-hmm.
need president with capital P. But if you just say president of Indonesia, it's small. So here put small, don't put capital letters in the middle of sentences.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll come back to that. We still need to correct this part. So this is the
Mm-hmm.
first topic sentence. Here we need to see the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Such as implementation of e-commerce. So you can say the use of e-commerce is increasingly prevalent. Prevalent is a bit difficult, wrong, is a negative connotation,
Mm.
like virus or so. But it can be
Mm.
dependent. So you can say it's increasingly becoming
Mm-hmm.
popular
Oh,
in
okay.
Indonesia. Yeah.
So we should use the word that the readers understand.
Yes, exactly. Use also quite simple words when writing. So use
Okay.
simple words as I said in those 7 steps the other day, that use simple words. So you can start by the use of e-commerce is increasingly becoming popular in Indonesia. Then you can
Yes.
put com. Yeah.
That word is
Uh,
eye-catching.
yes. And then you need some transitional phrases. So this is a
Okay.
transition. So now
Mm-hmm.
you show us that it's popular, but also does have some problems. So
Mm-hmm.
however, it is accompanied by, yeah, although I usually I don't like it, so you can say, however, accompanying. You can think of words accompanying the use of e. It's better always to repeat e-commerce, or it's
Mm.
better to, then you know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Is then you can then remove by is the emergence
Mm.
of regulating rules. And then you remove all that. You make it very easy to remember.
To the readers.
Yes, regulating rules. And what about these rules? So do they have an implication on the rule of law?
Yes, we have it already, and yeah, it's
So,
yeah.
so if these regulating rules, they impact, do they have negative or positive impact on the rule of law? So you can then put
Mm-hmm.
your, so regulating rules that
That has
have,
impact.
yeah, you can say if they so far reaching
That have far-reaching
implications, implications,
implication
the rule of law.
on the rule of law. Oh,
Yes. So now we come back to this. So here, as you say that, in
yes.
the first topic, we want you to show us the problem or the challenge arising from the implementation of e-commerce. So here you
Mm-hmm.
say that e-commerce becoming popular and
Mm-hmm.
also e-commerce regulating rules.
Mm-hmm.
However, this can have far-reaching implications on the rule of law. And then
Okay.
you give us an example. So
Yes,
this is
that's
where
what I
we are.
mean. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and then here explanation of why the topic is
I,
important in your
I
field.
took it from your outline.
Yes, I see, which is also good because then that helps you. So the latest legal rule governing the use of e-commerce is Government Regulation number 80 of 2019 concerning trade
Yes,
through electronic systems.
that's
Okay,
the
and
name
I'm
of the
hoping,
act. Yes.
yes. So if you're aiming for a local paper,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe this is okay. To
Oh.
put already. But if you are going to aim for an international journal,
Mm-hmm.
the abstract is only 250 words. And in 250 words, you don't want to waste your time by giving your readers, things like number 80, 2008. You just want to let them know that is a law.
Actually, my abstract is it's not reach For 200, it's only 118, I think.
I know, because there's still some things you have not discussed here. We still
Oh,
need to
okay.
see
All right.
you haven't yet established the significance of this topic in the legal field.
Okay, so we have to cut the number of or what? The latest legal rule governing the use of e-commerce is what?
Let's see. I want to come back so that we have a conversation. You can see me? Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Let me go back to sharing. So yeah, we get to that.
Mhm.
See application. I was saying that where are we? The latest. So so I said the second thing that we need to see is the establishment of the topic. How
Explanation.
relevant is it in your?
Oh,
Explain why the topic is important in your field of law and in Indonesia.
oh,
So this
okay.
is what we need to see here.
I didn't write that the explanation yet, right?
No, it's not there. But let's continue with reading and then we see what's there and what's so. Here you say the latest legal rule governing the
Mhm.
use of e-commerce is government number 80 of
Yes.
2019 concerning trade through electronic systems. Again, in abstract, we try to avoid acronyms.
The number of the act.
Number of the act and also try to avoid abbreviations.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't want abbreviations in abstract as much as you can. So
okay.
things like trade, because not everybody is familiar with it. The
Mhm.
issuance of these regulations was greeted with joy. Again, we said we need to remove all these words like greeting, joy. These are too
Mm.
informal. Yeah.
So
But
what the formal words for joy?
okay, so here you can also say, so for example, we can remove was greeted with joy. You can say here was widely accepted.
Mhm.
A very simple term, was
Oh, yes.
accepted
Yeah, you're
by
right. Yes.
e-commerce consumers,
Okay.
yeah. And we remove too much everyday language, like greeted with too informal language, like greeted with,
Yes.
yeah.
You're
Was
right.
that what was responded to? And again, we don't want but. We don't want never use but. Okay, never. So this one again, some of the things I can put there so that you can also then share when you have to discuss with your students.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. Never
We
use
use
but in a journal
in
article.
all right.
Your whole journal, never at any time should you use but. Yeah. So this is where you use transitional phrases like however,
All right.
nonetheless, or on the other hand.
Nevertheless. Okay.
Think of all those different transitional phrases you can use, but never use but.
Okay.
But you can, however, was responded by the unrest of small, medium enterprise, however, or quite to the contrary, or anything, however, by small, medium merchants who use e-commerce medium for transaction. This regulation benefits the state because it makes it easier to calculate taxes on e-commerce platforms, but at the same time,
Another but. I'm sorry.
yeah, good. At the same time, it creates an injustice in tax collection between e-commerce business actors and conventional business actors. Okay, this regulation causes great losses because it requires e-commerce business actors, both new and old, to use the ID domain for Indonesian attention, speed up access to related platforms. The government regulation regulating trading through electronic system brings good chances, but it also brings some disadvantages. Okay, very interesting. So now what we see here is you are now already explaining. So this is part, most of this, I think from here, all this information should go to your introduction. All this information. This is already your introduction. So
Oh,
we
I
can,
misplaced
Yeah,
I
so we
misplaced the
can,
sentence. Okay.
not a problem, yeah, not a problem, Nisla. So now what we now need you to do is abstract.
Mm-hmm.
You already you have given us this, but
Mm-hmm.
now we need you to establish number 2 here. So show us, explain why the topic is
Okay.
important in your field of law and in Indonesia.
Okay. Number
Yeah.
2, abstract.
Yeah, so we want the second point, and I can give you some just like a sort of the way of introducing a problem. So you have already told us that this your significance,
Mm.
but why is it a problem? So why is this issue a problem? So tell us in Indonesia. So this is what we want to see as the next sentence here, and also if there's a research question, so you can tell us. For example, so maybe I can put the notes right here. Where is it? Time responsible, no, but there are also comments. So you can tell us why is it, what's the research question? What do you intend to do with this paper? So you can tell us the aim of this paper, for example, tell us, so the aim of this research or of this paper is to, and then, or
The
seeks
aim
to,
of this paper.
is to, or you can say seeks to, if
Uh-huh.
you have a solution, tell us what is it, the aim that we want to see this in the abstract. Yeah. And point number 3, indication of research methods, approach, and methodology. So here you can also tell us, after this sentence where you tell us about the aim of the paper, you can tell us the paper will use or will analyze, or the paper will analyze the laws, because I think in this case you're analyzing the laws governing e-commerce.
Okay.
Yeah. So clearly your methodology is a doctrinal method. You're going to
Yes.
look at the law and
Yes.
its implications on the rule of law.
Methodology.
Yeah. You can also use a mixed approach as you go on if you want to analyze, theories on the rule of law. And then what else do we need? And then your key message, if you have any key message, if you have any summary of your finding. So this is where you can tell us that, if you think that the current law, that law 2019, maybe if it violates the rule of law, this is what we want to find out here in the abstract. And then again, back here, explain your message, contribute to regulatory environment. So how does this help? So you can say maybe this paper will contribute to the regulation of e-commerce, or will contribute to the regulating, or provide advantages to small and medium enterprises,
Yes.
or will policymakers to come up with laws that can be beneficial to both consumers, e-commerce consumers, as well as small and medium enterprises. So this is how we end it. Yeah. So you tell us what are the benefits, what is it that you're going to do, what is the contribution that this paper is going to make for policymakers or for the lawmakers, and then if it's going to bring the balance, if it's going to help regulation. So this is what we want to see in the abstract.
Okay.
And so far, you have only identified the first part. So you now have 3 more issues to write. Any questions?
Is there any difference between the abstract number 2 and number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Between abstract number 2, explanation of why the topic is important in your field of law and in Indonesia, and the last number of the abstract, an explanation of why your findings and key message contribute to. I think it's similar, right?
Okay, so let's see here. Yeah. Important in your field of law.
Yeah.
No, it's different. So this is why it's important in the field of law, and explain why our findings are contribute to the regulatory improvements, and so they are a bit different. So this is more broad. You can tell us, for example, that this is an emerging field, so maybe there are no rules yet, or the area is not settled in law. So it's a bit they speak to different issues. Here, the first one,
Uh-huh.
you are giving a broad overview.
Okay.
A
So the
overview.
last one is
It's
what do you
specific. It's a
contribute?
recommendation.
Wait a minute. Contribute means solution?
Yes, solution.
Well, I don't know the solution.
Okay, then you can also tell us. You can tell us here in the paper. It doesn't mean that every paper should have a solution. So when
Oh,
you don't
okay.
have a solution, for example, you can again. Let me use an example. It would be
Mm-hmm.
this paper
Yes.
will
Mm-hmm.
investigate a debate on how to properly regulate.
Oh.
And then you go on. Or you
Oh,
can say
okay.
that I hope that this paper will highlight or will help with uh, future research.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us that it's open-ended. So you don't
Mm.
have to, don't have, you can
Yeah.
tell us,
Okay.
okay, so maybe with this paper you have highlighted the problem, or this
Mm-hmm.
paper can highlight the problem, and then you invite others to come up with solution, or you can set some points that
Mm-hmm.
can then be researched further by other researchers to come up with a solution. So you don't have
Oh.
necessarily to have a solution, but tell
Oh.
us what this
Okay.
paper intends to do. Yeah,
Thank God.
yeah.
Uh.
So it's very
So
easy. Yeah, it's not very.
how about the methodology? Methodology should I put the method on the abstract or not?
Yes, here I also gave you already an example that this here's the methodology. Here I say that we need to see the methodology.
Uh.
This paper will analyze the laws governing e-commerce. So this is a doctrinal, this is the methodology on its own. So that is doctrinal
Oh
methodology.
yeah, yeah. It is on your
Yeah.
outline number 5.
Yes, and this
An
is it.
indication of our research methods and approach. Okay.
Yes,
So
and
I
this
have
is
to put the methodology.
yeah. So you can say it's a doctrinal methodology. You can say this paper will analyze the laws governing
Mm-hmm.
e-commerce or relations. Yeah. Statutory law, if you
Mm-hmm.
want to be specific, it will analyze statutory law, to be very, very specific.
Will analyze
Statutory
statute
law,
statutory. Oh, okay.
yeah, using doctrinal
Mm-hmm.
methodology.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's it. You have already given us your methodology. So you
Okay.
give us introduction, but in the introduction, you can also restate your methodology a little bit more detail.
Mm.
Yeah, but we'll get to the introduction once you have started writing it. So
Yeah.
this should be your argument. Yeah. So add these
Mm-hmm.
other points. Yeah.
Key image. Oh my God. It will end it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, but we are also almost done. So I don't know if there's still any question.
It's okay. Okay. Let's go to uh,
We are dealing with the abstract today.
uh, I will revise the abstract. So
Yes.
uh on discussion,
Mhm.
Dr. Prosper. Number
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Discussion number 4.
Yeah.
So comparative with two on your outline, you stated that comparative with 2 or 3 similar Asian countries. Is it a must do or an option?
It's a okay. Where is that one? Oh,
Four,
here on
four, four.
discussion.
Discussion number 4.
Yes,
Yes.
here. Okay. Now we jump to the discussion of the paper. So depending on whether you want to do it or not, you can also do some comparative. So in this case, for example, if you think that Indonesia has just started e-commerce at a later stage when other
Mm-hmm.
countries have already been doing e-commerce and they
Uh-huh.
have better regulation of e-commerce, and you think that their laws are in a much better position to
Mm-hmm.
balance the rule of law as well as the interest of different parties, the consumers and the small and medium enterprises. If you think that other countries, especially in the region, are doing much better, then feel free to do a comparative analysis. If you
Mm,
want to do it, leave it out.
okay.
Yeah. This just helps your paper to have a better, more appeal and to proffer some solutions, especially if you want to write a paper that is solution oriented.
Okay.
If you're going to offer some solutions, then you
Mm.
can always, do a comparative with one or two or so countries.
Mm.
And again, what did I want to add here? Yeah. So comparative is always much easier. It always, if we write, there is
Mm-hmm.
a reason we are writing a paper, right? We are writing to not only to discover a gap, but sometimes also to proffer some solutions. And Indonesia does not exist in a vacuum. It exists among other states.
Yes.
It's in the G20, it's in the Asian groups. And so you can always compare with some of those countries in the G20 or countries who are your neighbors, but have been a bit more advanced, like other Asian tigers, etc. But this
Oh,
is entirely up to you.
oh. Or
Yeah.
uh, I was thinking that maybe I could expand this article to my proposal dissertation with the
Uh,
comparative.
no, you can start just write an article. If you can always want to then write a proposal after that, you can still do it. But for now, try to write an article, limit it to maximum 6,000 words, and get it published first to get the
Okay.
experience writing.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
before you start working on bigger projects.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Any other question as you are planning on your structure? Also, if you
uh-huh.
can already give us your structure, that would be nice. If you can already, in addition to the abstract, and I can see already now you already have 1 point for your introduction. If
Mm-hmm.
you can also give us here, like as part of your introduction, an
Mm-hmm.
overview of the paper. So if you see here, I've mentioned this is introduction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So point number 6 here,
Mm-hmm.
if you can give us that, what will be next? So what is it that you're going to talk about in the paper? Put us into, give us subsections of your paper. So that you have an introduction, and in the discussion, what is it that you're going to discuss about?
Okay.
And yeah, that would be nice to already put in the introduction so that can guide you very well. But now just try to work on those points that I've highlighted for the abstract. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Let me finish with the abstract first.
Yes. So if you have
Uh,
we're left with about 4 minutes if you have any questions.
uh, not yet. But uh, the question is okay. It's enough for now. It's much for me already.
It's already too much for you.
Yes.
Okay, then
Wow.
that's good. All right. Okay. So all the best with writing, and then we'll have this by when do you plan to send back the paper?
I don't know. I am following you.
You can do it in 2 days, so you can send back by
2 days. How
two
about next
days.
week?
2 days. Writing an abstract usually takes less than a day
Okay.
to write.
Okay.
But
Let me clear with the revision of my abstract. First, I have to put the number 2 of the abstract explanation why the topic is important on your field, and then methodology check. You
mhm,
made it for me,
mhm.
and what else? Mm, so as long as I don't have any solution for the problem, so it's not necessary for comparative with two Asian countries, right?
Yes,
Okay.
not compulsory.
Oh, let me finish with abstract first.
Okay then.
Okay. 3
All
days.
right. Yes, 3 days.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a nice day.
Thank
Goodbye.
you so much.
You're welcome.